in the evening. So today we'll go over one of my games actually played right here in the chess club. I like showing games that I played at the club. Actually, I have since I have lots of games, and I've been playing all the US championships here since 2009, and I found this game that I thought might be interesting to show you today. And this is from the 2013 US championship, and I'm playing with the white pieces here, and my opponent at that time was very young but strong international master Kayden Troff, who is of course a strong grandmaster now, and played a couple of times in the US championships. I believe he was a US junior as well, and finished second in last year US junior championship. So my opponent, very strong, talented Kayden Troff. It's always tough when you play these young up-and-coming players, because you don't really know exactly their strength. They could be like 24, 21, like here it shows, but they could be playing at least 25, 21 strength. So you really don't know what you're getting into. So you always have to be careful. That's why I'm, very careful extra, because when I'm playing a 2650 grandmaster, at a certain age, I know that this is, where his strength is. But when you're playing the young players, you don't know. They could be really, really underrated. So you have to be a little bit careful. So the opening was no surprise. Kayden is a Grünfeld player, and I was expecting he will play this. And we have this opening, the Grünfeld defense. At this moment, we don't know the name of the opening yet, because it could be Grünfeld, as you see with d4, but it could be another additional opening. Which opening it could be in addition to the Grünfeld here? If he plays this move, bishop to g7, what's the name of this opening? The King's Indian defense, it would be. Okay, so that's why we don't know yet. But he played the move d5. So now, after we see the move d5, we know that we have the Grünfeld defense, one of the toughest openings against d4 to get any advantage. Grünfeld is very tough. It's so many different lines, so many different ideas, but it's just quite tough to get anything against it. So I played almost all the systems against it. I'm still jumping from one system to another nowadays, and it seems like a lot of my opponents target this opening. They see that I have all these different systems, so they try against me to play Grünfeld. So I played knight f3 and bishop g7, and at that time this move was just getting popular, this h4 move. It's kind of old news nowadays, but 5 years ago it was very, very interesting, very popular, and challenging. Okay, challenging against the Grünfeld. So the idea of this h4 move is at the moment, at some point I want to take, and when he takes back, I play the move h5. And then I have a pawn putting pressure on g6. I have some h6 ideas. So I'm trying to play this move h5 at the right moment. So that's the idea behind it. Kayden reacted. c6 is one of the most solid ways to play against the system. When world champion Magnus Carlsen was facing this, he also played the move c6. So very, very solid opening choice. The more sharper lines are take, e4, c5, d5, b5, and it leads to a really sharp, complicated position. I played this a few times. Another alternative is castle, and that leads to this position after cd, knight d5, h5, c5, take, bishop h6. Okay, I had this position as well. Again, very interesting. White is perhaps slightly better here, okay? But not so easy to mate here. So if you get the queen on d2, yes, you're going to mate, but it's not so easy. All right, so Kayden played c6. So what this move does is now he basically, every time I take, he's just going to take back with a pawn. He's not going to move the knight from f6, so he says, you know what, you're not really going to get this h5 in that easily. You're not going to get this in that easily. So bishop g5, I played to put pressure. Queen b6. This move was a little bit of a surprise. I knew the move c6, but queen b6 came as a little surprise. And he played it, I think, relatively quickly. So he perhaps analyzed this a little bit. You know, it was very, very fashionable. He probably wasn't expecting that I would play this, but maybe he prepared for the tournament and had some ideas. Queen b6, putting pressure on b2. Okay, what to do? Now the pawn is under attack, and you never really want to play the move b3 here. b3 just weakens the position too much. So I played, sorry, get this, yeah. So I played the move bishop takes f6. Let me get this in here, okay. And I cannot play, let's say, queen c2 because it's going to be a problem because of which move? Bishop f5, hitting the queen with a tempi. I cannot play queen d2 because that's going to be also attacked by knight e4, attacking the queen. Perfect. So you play bishop f6. Bishop takes f6. Because now I can play the move queen d2 without worrying about knight e4 jumping in. Very specific play. I'm giving up my bishop, but now I protected b2. I'm threatening to take on d5 as well. And so he has to do something. Either he has to play e6, protect, or do something. But if he plays e6, I can even play e4. Attack the bishop. If the bishop goes back here, he's not going to be too happy about knight d6 check. And if he goes back to e7, I can play c5, attacking that queen. He drives back bishop c4. I think this is very pleasant. Or perhaps even h5 I can play. I have a very nice active position, good development as well. Okay? So I play bishop g7. If he plays bishop g7, I have knight d6. Thank you. Okay. So he played d takes c4. He says, you know what, I don't like the e6. Let me take a pawn here. So what move you think I have in mind to do against this? And to justify the fact that I give up my bishop. What can I do? What would you do here?
I would do e4.
e4. Excellent move, yes. e4. Gaining the control of the center and getting ready to capture the pawn back on c4. Okay? Nice control of the center and picking up the pawn on c4. But Kayden goes bishop e6. He says, not so easy. You're not getting that pawn back that easily. And now I'm stuck. I'm down a pawn, and he has the pair of the bishops. He's got two bishops and an extra pawn here. What should I do?
You can close it. d5.
d5. But then we're opening up the monster bishop here, right? He takes. You're going to get the pawn back, but the cost might be too high, yeah?
What if you take with the knight instead?
Take with the knight here.
Yes.
Takes. Then there's some problems here. b2 is dropping. So in general, when you open up the diagonal, it's risky, you know, very risky. Yes, please raise your hands if you have the move. Yes. Well, we have the correct move by a young player. h5. I'm taking advantage of the fact that he's not castled yet, and I'm trying to create some complications. Okay? Now, he took. Interesting, yeah? He's just not afraid at all. Now he takes, and he says, you know what, now I'm up 2 pawns. 2 pawns now ahead. I'm not sure yet. This move was definitely interesting. So, we have to do something. We can't just let him have everything, yeah? I can take with rook, but I want a castle. I want to get the safety of my king. That pawn is going to be mine. That pawn is not going anywhere. I want to get the safety and the possibilities to move my queen if needed. You know why I did this? Because when he plays the move knight d7, I want to try push, attacking the bishop. Bishop goes back. I want to get up here, attack this guy. Okay? And now this bishop is a little bit hard to protect. If you bring the rook over, I can take on h5. I mean, this is what I was aiming for. Okay? He plays h6. Bit odd looking move, but you know what he's trying to prevent now, correct? He's trying to prevent my queen jump. My queen jump on g5. This is what he's trying to prevent. But this is time. This takes time. And now I feel like I have some ideas here. h6 was probably not the best move. Huh? Why then he goes back to g7?
What's stopping me from taking on h5?
Correct move. He develops though. He still got the pair of the bishops, okay? And still has... Does he have the extra pawn still? Yeah, he does.
And what about rook 6 again?
Of course. Sometimes you have to play simple. They give you pawns, you take the pawns. Okay? But in reality, he was really afraid of this line. Guys, it looks like really bad what he did, but it's very annoying, this queen g5. What are you going to do with the bishop? You know?
Well, you have to, an option would be to rook g.
8? Yes, I agree, but then takes, and now this h7 is hanging. How do we protect this, you know? You feel the initiative, yeah? Initiative is on white side.
It's either, like, instead of rook g8, you could just play
Bishop f8?
bishop f8.
But okay, then if opponent has to go bishop f8, that means success, yeah? If we force him to go back from the developed square to backwards, that should be success, I think. What do you guys think, huh?
Or even king f8. That would be
King f8 in a line of fire, you know, a little danger, king f8. I'm not sure about it. Okay. h6.
Why didn't he castle queenside?
Well, he's got a knight there, so
Sorry.
so maybe knight a6 he can play. I don't know. No, but he's worried about e5, queen g5. So I put him in a situation where it was quite confusing for him, I think. This is kind of hard to play. Even right now, all of us are looking. It's not so clear how black should play. Of course, computer will show you. But again, it's very important to understand when you're analyzing or looking at games with a computer, it's just completely different than actually when you're playing the games. You have no idea what's the best move, what you look for. So, probably h6 wasn't the best move. So he played knight a6. Takes, he castles. But now he's castled. He's got the 2 bishops. He's got my d4 pawn hanging. Yeah, I got his knight on the rim there. But I do need to worry about this center pawn. It's a bit hanging.
Having double pawns.
I got double pawns. Excellent thinking, yeah. And the c4 pawn is a little bit weak, right? It constantly needs protection. So, but now we have to play this correctly. We have to play this precisely, okay, here. It worked out great. This worked out great for me, this game. Right now, he's got a threat. He wants to just take, and take. That's what he wants to do. He's got 3 attackers on my d4, and I've got only 2 defenders.
E5?
E5? I don't think I play d5. If I play e5, he can just maybe go back even, bishop h8.
Queen e3.
That's what I played, yeah, queen e3. Just defending my center and keeping everything protected. His knight on a6 looks a bit awkward, no? And it's not so easy for him to show what he's going to do next. So queen a5 played.
We could have also, because
Again, he's got the 2 bishops. Be careful. Don't just open up the position, because if you open up the position, it's better for who?
black.
The guy who has the 2 bishops. The player who has the 2 bishops wants you to open up the position. Okay? This queen is very active here. It's super active here, putting pressure here. It's guarding some important things here. So knight b4 is out there. I gotta be careful. Okay. Yes?
E5.
E5. I will get to the e5, okay? But first he wants to go knight b4. Do we want to allow him to play knight b4, or we want to prevent that? Huh?
We don't want him.
We don't want him, right? So then we're going to have to do what kind of move we need to prevent that?
A3.
Preventing move.
Prophylactic.
Prophylaxis. Yes.
B3.
Prophylaxis, yeah? Preventing move. Preventing. Now he goes back to b6. Yeah, this was already, but again, he didn't feel very comfortable here. I think he should have played some bishop g4 or something, I remember. But yes. So now he goes queen b6. Now he goes queen b6. He puts pressure on d4, on b2, so he's putting a little bit of pressure.
You said G4 would have been a better move?
Perhaps bishop g4. Perhaps bishop g4. Yeah, get some activities going. Okay. Now, what do we do? How should we play that? Knight on a6 is certainly misplaced. Knight g5. Knight g5. Be careful. That knight is the defender, right? Again, what do you think of? Let me ask you a question, actually. Have you finished your development?
No, the bishop.
Bishop is not developed. That means your rook is not in the game as well, right? And what do we need to do to have a successful game? Complete development. Bishop e2. Bishop g7. Because he sees that e5 is coming, and he wants to have the bishop on g7 with some bishop h6 ideas at some point.
There's the G4 threat, right?
There is a rook can go now to h1.
Okay.
Ah, yeah. And also, yeah, it's developed. Always it's good to develop the pieces. Just remember, even if you think it's not going to do much, but if it's developed, it's going to protect more. If it's not developed, it's not going to protect more.
Ironically, like the bishops are more effective long range, right? They're more effective. They
Yeah.
retreat a little bit.
But it does something. The bishop here protects my knight, protects my rook, protects. Okay? All right. So now again, what kind of move it feels like we need here? Huh? He's got that bishop h6 always looming there, you know, sitting there and always threatening some bishop h6, looming ideas.
How king b1?
Okay, there we go. Another prophylaxis, yeah, prophylaxis. Now he goes queen b3, trying to come in. And very threatening, you know, very threatening, jumping in. Now, you could play rook h1, but ultimately we need to get rid of this bishop on e6, right? And the knight goes on g5, attacks that bishop. And he played knight c7 here. I'm trying to remember what happens if he plays bishop here.
Why didn't he do knight d2?
So I think this bishop h6 maybe would have been his best try. To at least keep the knight pinned. I think I was going to play f4 here.
Couldn't you take the f7 pawn and then check h3 and then pick up the bishop?
The problem is the pin. He's got the
that's
pin.
right.
Yeah. He's got the pin, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, I probably just play f4 and play this position, perhaps. Should be a little bit better for white anyway.
Is rook h1 an option here? Knight g5, bishop h6, rook h1.
Yeah, it is an option. I was thinking about that actually. We just gotta make sure that this line works. Yeah, I don't know. This. Probably good for white. Yeah, f4, f5. I don't know.
This was the
No, this could have happened. Sideline. I don't know. Looks good for white. Yeah. Okay. So he played knight c7. Now,
so now we can attack.
now this was a bad move. This knight c7 is bad move for sure. How? How or why?
Because first it's retrieving.
Well, but he's thinking if I take, he wants to take back with the knight.
He's trying to protect e6?
Yeah, otherwise if I take, he's going to take back with a pawn. So he wants to take back with the knight.
You can pin the knight after it's captured and threaten d5.
Excellent. Takes. And now it looks like he's got 3 attackers on me. 3 attackers on me here. What should I do here? Against the 3 attackers.
Bishop g4.
Absolutely. Let's pin him. And now he cannot take on d4 because that knight, it's not an attacker anymore. It's a pinned piece. So he goes rook d6. Now it's just really, really tough position for him.
Is this finally the moment for e5?
Of course. Of course it is.
Queen g5.
Bishop d4 maybe?
You were saying queen g5?
No, queen g5, bishop d4.
d7, right?
Or you can take bishop d4. Oh, let's shut down the bishop first, okay? And now, the bishop is shut down, okay? Now maybe we can do something active.
Takes and then queen g4. Queen g5.
Maybe, but I like the quiet move. f7 is very important target here, right? Because if you win f7, you're going to win some material. So what about a quiet move? What about the quiet move, queen f3? King b8. Again, d4 is hanging, so take, and now I have a fork. Look at that bishop. That bishop is not going to be a good bishop. Fork. Queen g4. Bishop f8. Look at that bishop.
Back to the beginning.
It's not coming back into the game. No counterplay. Now d4 is hanging. Let's get another pawn now and solidify the position. Bishop h6. g3. Control, right? Control the position. a6. f4. Shut down the communication. c5, he's trying to do something. Open the position or do something, you know? What do you do? Of course d5. Check. He's trying to win the g3 pawn.
94.
I don't think we want to get pinned. I like queen d3. I like queen d3. Protect very calmly.
I was afraid of rook take, but not the nice support.
Now, which piece wants to join in the action? But then he has some c4 ideas, right? So let's get the rook into the game. Rooks, they like open files, right? They get the open file.
Especially in particular.
Yeah, and now
H4.
h4, get rid of. Every active piece should be pushed away, you know? So no active pieces. Look at that. What do you do now? Passed.
Now knight a4.
g4. Let's push a little bit now. It's trying to break open.
D6.
Shut it down. Of course, d6. Bishop e7 attacking the rook. Now we learn that rooks belong on a 7th rank as well. They like the open files, but what's better than open file for the rook? The 7th rank where he can attack things, right? Now he takes. Well, if he goes back, I go queen e4, so he went here. Take with the rook. And the final move of the game, pretty much.
Take the pawn. The rook.
You could take the pawn. That's probably very good.
I don't think he would have made that the grand finale.
Queen H7.
D7.
Is it Queen H7?
Queen h7 is very good. How about this neat move? When you're ahead, you're never afraid to
Exchange pieces.
trade. There you go. And now he's forced to resign or trade queens. Yeah? Okay. It's mate on b7. So he can have one check here. I go king h2. No more checks. No checks. No anything. And if he trades, he's just down a whole knight. Yeah? White would win this position without the knight, just taking only 6 and 2 connected pass pawn. So he resigned. And this was round number 3 of the US Championship 2013, 5 years ago. Okay? So this is something for you to know how to deal with the Grünfeld defense. Something, you know, in addition to what you play, if you play d4, you know. In addition, something very interesting to work on this h4 idea. Okay? Now we're going to do some important tactical positions. First, do you have any questions about this game? And all these tactics we're going to do are played by a world champions. Okay? So we'll start out with the first world champion, and I want to ask you the name for the first world champion. Wilhelm Steinitz. Wilhelm Steinitz, and he was from a family, a very poor family, and he was from, and he's and his father had 13 children.
So
And he was the world champion of the world. And he was the 13th child.
Moral of the
And
story?
he was world champion for 13 years.
No. He was world. No, it's just. No, there is a quote about him that the poor, that he was poor and but he made it basically. I recommend you read about him. Wilhelm Steinitz, world champion from 1886 to 1894. 8 years. Wilhelm Steinitz, white to play and win. So we will do a different world champions. So you'll get to know all the champions. I mean, not all today, but first few. Please don't say the moves. If you have it, raise your hand. And you must have the whole thing. Not the glimpse of it, not the little bit of it. The whole thing I want. And if you want to know the name of his opponent, this opponent was no name. They don't have the. It was they put NN, no name.
I'm guessing that guy didn't win.
In the old days, not always they knew the name of the opponent. Sometimes they do, though, actually. No, I mean, if he played some of these big guys like Zuckertort, Zuckertort and all. Okay, I have 2 hands so far. Should be more, I think. Should be more, no? This is not that difficult. But it's very nice. 3 hands now. Okay, a minute. I give you another minute. 1 more minute. Because you always remember better when you find the idea. That's if I find something, I can remember better than I just see something, yeah? 4 hands I have. 5 now. Okay. In the back?
Yes, I'm
Friend?
thinking, deflecting the queen with rook d8 check.
Deflecting the queen with rook d8 check. You have to have everything though, right? Everything to sacrifice your rook, correct?
And then queen e6. And now rook h6. And queen f7.
Bravo. What about you? Same thing? Others? So the idea called decoy, deflection, okay? Decoy and deflection idea we use in this one. Wilhelm Steinitz, we're moving on to the second world champion now. I like doing this way that you get to know the champions. So, white to move and win, and this is played by a world champion number 2. And who knows the name? No. Number 2. Long time ago. No, not yet. Emanuel Lasker. Okay? And he was a world champion for a very long time. You guys know that? One of the longest world champions. Okay? If you had to guess, for how long do you think he was a world champion? 27. Huh? Who? He did? Oh, yeah. 27. 1894. Guys, 1894 to 1921. Emanuel Lasker.
So you said white to move and win.
Win. Yeah, I didn't say mate. Win.
But
Actually, this is not even his game. This is his study, actually. He composed this himself. I'm seeing a hand. I'm seeing a hand, but need more hands, no? One strong participant. Let's see. Emanuel Lasker. So he defeated who to win the championship? Steinitz. Wilhelm Steinitz. You're down a piece here, and it looks like this bishop is extremely annoying, you know? So it looks very, 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 very tough.
But black should win.
No, it's white to play and win. I mean, it looks like black should win, I agree, but sometimes in chess, you think one side should win, but the other side wins, you know? It's tough. It's a tough game. Is your line beautiful? Is it extraordinary? 1, 2, 3. All right. I'm going to give you the chance. Try it. Well, it's him this time, but Rook C8 check. I take. First things first. First things first.
Okay.
First things first, okay? Well, I got a background. I got a background mate, guys. You gotta protect the back. Huh? There you have it. Huh? There you have it. That's very important, okay? That the queen. If queen wasn't guarding it, black would have prevailed. And if you had taken back with the queen, then queen e1 mates. Yes? Question? All right. So, I have to take. No choice. Yes?
Queen take a7.
Queen takes a7, sacrificing his queen. Who saw that? Raise your hand.
I saw it, but I don't see what it does.
Wait, can I see?
Young player, yes.
He takes it, then you take the rook.
Oh.
Turn it to knight.
Under promotion. Under promotion, right? Guys, you gotta remember the under promotion. Don't be too fixed on queen promotion, okay? This idea is called under promotion, right? You know under promotion. Now you remember. Thank you very much for the queen. And this position should be no problem converting, okay? Just accurately you move, okay? Around.
But like, it's always one who has the bishop wins. Knight is weaker than the bishop, right?
They're about equal. But you got 2 extra pawns here. Yeah, if you didn't have those 2 pawns, you're not going to win this. Even if you have 1 pawn, you're not going to win this. 2, you're likely to win it, okay? Yeah, this is winning. Okay. And the next one, the last one for today, okay? This, you don't just win immediately. You just basically, you bring the knight here, the bishop moves, you start pushing the guys, you know? Get your king in, start pushing your pawns, okay? You don't win immediately, but you win. Okay. The next one of my most favorite world champions. Let's see. Capablanca. And I share the same birthday with Capablanca. November 19. Just so you know. Same birthday with the world champion. And he was a 3rd world champion for 6 years. 1921 to 1927. From Cuba, of course. And this is what Lasker said. I have known many chess players, but only one genius, Capablanca. That was said by Lasker. Okay? Okay. He has many good tactics. Many good tactics. I'll do the most famous one because we have a big class here, and few of you might know this one, but I think would be nice for everybody to know one of the most famous games by Capablanca. Capablanca, white, Fonaroff, New York, white, to play and win. Let's see if you can play like Capablanca here. Very famous, one of the most famous positions. You have to calculate 4 moves. It's a 4-move combination, okay? That wins the game for you. Double check your answer. Double check, so make sure you remember everything. Nobody familiar with this position? You familiar with this position, or you know it?
I think I know.
Okay. All right. One. Wait, I was gonna ask you. Okay.
He got the other one.
All right. Let's see here. No hands. Well, who? Okay, 1 hand I see. 2 hands we see. 3 hands we see.
You don't get to ask the other player that.
Okay. I give you a chance first.
So rook to d7.
Rook to d7. Okay. And it takes the queen.
Then
And
I'll take the queen.
I take back.
Yeah.
Nope. That didn't.
From there, genius.
Sorry, that didn't work.
I tried to just do that if we can move the queen to g7.
Yeah, but also I can take your rook, you know, right? I can take the rook and it's tricky. Okay.
Okay, f4.
F4 here.
Yes.
But it's not so forcing, you know. I take.
Now, g5 cuts off communication.
Yeah, but not so clear, you know.
So I mean, just after, without moving g.
It's good for you, but it's not like you're winning. You're not winning this on the spot here. Okay? All right. Oh, you're back. You're back. All right, let's give it a chance here. Show us.
Knight h6.
Check. I can't take it, right? I have to go here.
King h. And then I was thinking it was queen x e5.
Sacrificing the queen.
And then queen x e5. Then knight x.
That's some serious tactics, huh? Serious calculation right there, everybody. Thank you for the queen.
Because otherwise back right.
And if he takes, what do you do?
You have to move rook d8.
Check. Check. Checkmate. Good job. Very nice. Very nice. Do you get it now?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it again. That's how Capablanca won. Knight h6 check. Sacrifice takes. Check. Take this. Take this. On checkmate. Yes?
Is knight takes f7 still winning?
No. It's a faulty. It's faulty actually.
What's it miss? What did I
It's
miss?
faulty. He takes with the queen.
Oh, I missed it. Okay.
And then you take,
But you were
check, and look like black turns the tables and checkmates. He turns the tables. Nice. Great job, everybody, okay? Great job. See you on Thursday.